I'm not sure there's any star caliber player that's flown more under the radar this season than Brandon Ingram. Despite having one of the best seasons of his entire career, there's really not a whole lot of people talking about how much he's improved in so many areas of his game and how he's contributing to winning. He's legitimately carrying this Pelicans team as they deal with the struggles that come with not having Zion Williamson in the lineup. After an unbelievably bad start to the season, the Pelicans have been able to claw and scratch their way back to a play-in spot, and a lot of that is due to the play of Brandon Ingram. So in this video, I'm going to talk about all the great stuff that Brandon Ingram has been doing this season to help this New Orleans team put up some wins, and I'm also going to talk about why I think he should have been the Western Conference All-Star injury replacement for Draymond Green. Be sure to stick around until the end so that you don't miss anything. As always, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe and leave a like on the video. Let's get right into it. So let's take a look at how the Pelicans started off the season before we get any further, so we can get an idea of what they were working with when Brandon Ingram was out with an injury. They went 1-5 to start the season, and Brandon Ingram was playing during this stretch to start the year. Ingram eventually went down with an injury and would subsequently miss their next 7 games. They would go on to lose every single game without Brandon Ingram during that stretch, starting the season off with a 1-12 record. For some context, that is a 7-win pace, which would be tied for the worst record in NBA history. Let me break that down for you. The Pelicans were on pace to tie the worst record in NBA history with their 1-12 start to the season. This trend has carried on throughout the season so far when Ingram hasn't played. In 14 games this season where the Pelicans have been without Brandon Ingram, they've won 2 of them. That comes out to an 11-win pace, which would be tied for the 4th worst record in NBA history. He has the 5th highest offensive load among wings right now. To say that he's carrying the Pelicans to the point that they've gotten isn't an exaggeration, it's a fact. He's involved in 44.9% of all of their offense. That's an unusually high offensive load for a guy like Ingram, and it's on par with guys like LeBron, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and a lot of other marquee players that we typically associate with having the ball in their hands. Strictly speaking, from a value perspective, Brandon Ingram is one of the most valuable players in the entire NBA. Now, don't interpret this as me saying he should be in MVP conversations, because that's not what I'm saying. But I think that he is the primary reason the Pelicans have managed to claw their way back like this. They have a record of 19-20 this season when he does play, which is a far more respectable record and closer to 500 basketball in fighting for a playoff spot. This has always been one of the biggest criticisms with Brandon Ingram. People would love to parrot the take that he doesn't contribute to winning or his stats are empty stats, but you can clearly see that he does contribute to winning. Otherwise, the Pelicans wouldn't be where they're at right now. They would be heading towards a historically bad record. So the Pelicans are winning some more games now, but what has Ingram actually done? How is he contributing to wins? One thing that I'm not sure a lot of people realize about Brandon Ingram at this point in his career is how versatile of a player he has become. He's always been viewed as this big scoring wing. We all know that Brandon Ingram can score, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later, but not a lot of people know that Brandon Ingram has become an incredibly reliable and talented playmaker. He's putting up a career-high 5.5 assists per game while also keeping his turnovers fairly low at 2.6 per game. He's been so good at using his scoring gravity to draw defenses into the paint and kick out to open shooters on the perimeter. His ability to get the ball to Valanciunas in the paint once he gets inside has resulted in so many easy looks at the rim. He has the ability to run the pick and roll really well for a wing. He's actually generating the most points per possession as the pick and roll ball handler on the Pelicans this year, despite playing out of the 3 spot. The Pelicans are scoring 41.8% of the time he's operating as the pick and roll ball handler. Here you can see just how adept he is. He takes the screen and then he just threads the needle perfectly to Valanciunas for the layup. He's also really adept at finding cutters and getting the ball to them in traffic in crafty ways. Let's look at this play here. Herb is going to grab the offensive rebound and he kicks it back out to Ingram. Alexander Walker is then going to cut towards the basket. Brandon Ingram literally nutmegs Jimmy Butler, and Alexander Walker gets a clean look for the dunk. What other guys in the NBA are nutmegging people like that? It's just a testament to Ingram's floor vision that has come so far since he came into the NBA. He's also realizing the impact that his scoring gravity has, particularly on the interior. You can see in this play, the defense is starting to collapse on him as he initiates the drive. He's got Kyle Anderson, Steven Adams, and Desmond Bane all watching to see if they need to help at the rim. So instead of going to the basket and going up against 3 defenders, he just tosses it out for an easy Murphy 3. It's not an exaggeration to say that Brandon Ingram is probably a top 3 playmaking wing in the entire league right now. He's been that good. This aspect of his game developing has been huge for New Orleans, especially with Zion out. But as far as scoring goes, how has Ingram been holding up? That's what he's been so highly touted for, so is that area of his game still as impactful as it has been? No doubt. His scoring output isn't quite as high as last year, sitting at 22.8 points per game right now, and while his efficiency from 3 and in the mid-range hasn't been there until recently, he's still been able to score at a high level, and he's really starting to heat up recently. Over his last 10 games, he's putting up 24.5 points, 7.3 assists, and 5.4 rebounds per game on 57.8% true shooting, which is above league average. He's also had an offensive rating of 121.3 during that stretch. The shot is starting to come back for him, and once he gets it to start falling again consistently, he's going to be scoring even more than he is now. The fact that he's able to contribute in other areas of the offense without the ball in his hands is making up for the fact that his shot hasn't been falling this season. So what does all of this mean for the Pelicans moving forward? Right now, they're sitting at the 10th seed at the time of this recording and only 7 games back from the 7th seed. With guys like Herb Jones playing well and Brandon Ingram picking up heading into the All-Star break, this team could legitimately make a playoff push. And I haven't even mentioned the fact that they still don't have Zion Williamson back. Can you imagine this team with Zion Williamson? With the strides Ingram has made as a playmaker, his scoring gravity and ability to make smart reads is going to do a ton to get Zion some easy looks. The 3-man lineup of Brandon Ingram, Herb, and Zion is going to be so much fun to watch, and I cannot wait to see it in action. If we're being honest, this team has a better young core than I think it gets credit for. They have a lot of exciting young pieces. It's all just coming down to a matter of health and putting it all together in terms of development. It's not a stretch to think that they can sneak their way into the playoffs this year, especially if Zion comes back. I really do think that Brandon Ingram deserved to make the All-Star team this year. I understand that there were cases for other players, but with how he's played to get this team back towards playoff contention, I really think he probably deserved to make it. So do you think that Brandon Ingram deserved to be an All-Star? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a like, because that's the #1 way to help me out with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.